Are you looking for signs of your house being haunted? Do things go bump in the night? Are you feeling cold spots spontaneously occurring in the room? Do you have a feeling that you're being watched? Are you wondering, is this just my imagination or is it something else? You know, the truth is that paranormal activity in the home is more common than you think. And rest assured, you're not crazy, as there have been countless reports and stories throughout the centuries of uninvited and unseen house guests who insist on making their presence known. Hello and welcome. My name is Dar Payment, and I'm a professional psychic medium and channel who is passionate about sharing with you all things psychic and paranormal. When it comes to discerning signs that your house may be haunted, you must first realize that there are three categories of paranormal activity: residual hauntings, intelligent hauntings, and poltergeist hauntings. Residual hauntings are the most common and are said to be the result of energy imprints on the environment. Residual haunts are reoccurring situations or circumstances that occur at specific intervals, such as days or times, and are said to be much like that of replays of specific memories that occurred in the home, the building, the battlefield, or other environment that they're being played over and over. An intelligent haunt is the classic and often most portrayed category of hauntings in Hollywood movies and in mainstream literature. With an intelligent haunt, the spirit entities are able to interact and communicate with those in the living world. Poltergeist hauntings are the most disconcerting, as they take the form of objects being moved or thrown. And really, the word poltergeist means noisy ghost. Something interesting, huh? Sometimes a haunting will have a combination of one or two of these categories, or all three combined. But regardless of the type of haunting, one thing is for certain: the paranormal activity has certain common themes associated with it. So, is your house haunted? Well, let's find out. Let me share with you 10 signs that your house just might be haunted. And we're going to start with number 1, which is unexplainable sounds. This means hearing sounds that you can't explain, which includes the sounds of doors, cupboards, or drawers being opened and closed, whether you're either home alone or when you know that that home is unoccupied by your family or pets. You may also hear dishes rattling or the sound of someone walking on the floor or up and down the stairs, and even sounds of furniture being moved. As a professional psychic medium, I'm often shared stories about different events, paranormal events specifically, going on in somebody's living space. A regular client, Sarah Jones, shares the following story about her experience with unexplainable sounds. I was pet sitting for my friend Mary, whose father had just passed 6 months prior due to a long illness. My friend and her father shared the house. However, he spent his last few years of life in a nursing home. One night, while I was watching television with Mary's dog resting quietly on my lap, I heard what sounded like the kitchen cupboards opening and closing, and then I thought I heard the sounds of someone cooking. Mary's small dog heard it too, looked towards the kitchen, and began to growl. This made the hair on my neck stand on end. I reached for my cell phone, ready to dial 911, and called out, "Who's there?" The sounds stopped as quickly as they had started. I shared my story with Mary when she returned home the next day, to which she replied, "Thank you for sharing that with me. It validates what I've been hearing too. And when I go investigate, there is no one or nothing there. I think it's my dad letting me know that he's okay. When he lived here with me, he loved to unwind in the kitchen and cook." The second sign that your house might be haunted is seeing movement in your peripheral vision. Seeing movement in your peripheral vision may take the form of seeing shadows, a human form, or sparkling light from the corners of your eyes. But when you turn to look, there's nothing there. Number 3 is temperature fluctuations in the room. When the temperature of the air in or around you suddenly changes and gets cooler, this may be a sign that a spirit is close by. Theory states that cold spots are spirits absorbing energy around themselves in order to manifest. I've been on many ghost hunts, and I love them, And one sure sign for me when a spirit is near, besides feeling them, is cold spots. The fourth is poltergeist activity. Are objects in your house being moved, knocked over, or thrown? Are items suddenly missing and then reappearing in the most unlikely places, such as keys or other small objects? These are common signs of poltergeist activity in the home and sometimes can be quite frightening, especially when an object is thrown right at you or a loved one. The fifth sign is disembodied voices. This consists of hearing whispers, coughs, crying, screaming, and even intelligible and unintelligible conversation. You may even hear someone call either your name, your pet's name, or a loved one's name. Kevin B. from Memphis tells of his experience with a crying spirit. It happened one night when he was babysitting for his sister's kids. Says Kevin, about an hour after they left, I heard a baby crying coming from the children's bedroom where the kids were. So I walked to the room to check up on the girls. And as I approached, the crying sound got quieter and quieter. When I reached out to grab the doorknob, it all stopped altogether. So I went back into the living room, and while I was waiting, realized that my sister's kids are 6 and 9. They don't make the sound of a baby crying. When my sister and her husband got home, I asked them if the neighbors had a baby. Both of their faces instantly blanched white. They had just bought their house a month and a half before and told me they had a great deal on the house. However, they soon realized that the house was haunted and the crying baby was just one of the manifestations. And that's when they told me they were already in the process of reselling the house. The sixth sign is unexplained smells. Suddenly smelling things like cigar or cigarette smoke, the smell of cooking, a waft of perfume, flowers, or other fragrances that don't have an explainable origin are also common signs of a haunting. Most often these smells are pleasant, but it's said that when a negative entity is around, that smells can also be putrid and rotten smelling. Number 7, feeling like you're either being watched or that you're not alone. This is creepiness at its best, especially when you know you're not alone, and it's one of the most common signs that a spirit is close by. Sometimes the feeling even causes your skin to erupt in a flood of goosebumps. This is something that most people do feel at one time or another, the feeling like they're being watched. The 8th sign is furniture vibrating while you're using it. This could occur either while you're sitting in the chair, the couch, laying in bed, and can range from a gentle vibration to violent shaking. Many years ago now, my husband and I rented a bungalow apartment in Fountain Valley, California. Shortly after moving in, I experienced the classical symptoms of a haunting. Everything from the feeling of being watched, the television turning on and off by itself, the sound of someone walking on the carpet late at night, and even the sound of our front door being opened and closed loudly. I was dating my husband at the time and just briefly shared with him about my mediumistic abilities. And not wanting to scare him, I kept my experiences in the bungalow apartment to myself. One thing this spirit often enjoyed doing, however, was vibrating the bed at night while we slept. More than once, I awoke feeling our bed vibrating heartily. The exact day we moved out of this apartment to our new home, my husband shared with me how relieved he was to move. He too experienced the noises, unearthly presence, and especially the bed shaking, but didn't want to tell me for fear of me moving out. The 9th sign is electronic device malfunctions. This includes devices such as TV, radio, electronic toys, appliances, or other things turning on and off by themselves, as well as the volume of the TV or radio suddenly going up or down. This also includes lights in the room flickering or turning on and off for no apparent reason. As a psychic medium, I love to hear how loved ones in spirit often communicate in surprising ways with those they left behind. One such client was Amanda. My son was going through a really difficult time after my husband's passing. It had been 6 months after he and his father's boating accident. My son was slightly injured during the accident and had spent a minimal amount of time recovering. Suffering from survivor's guilt, my son's grades plummeted, and he soon began hanging out with the wrong crowd and experimenting with drugs. One day while I was downstairs folding laundry, I heard my son barrel down the stairs screaming my name. When he found me, his face was as white as a sheet. Mom, I was writing a suicide letter on my laptop when I received an email from Dad. Of course, shocked on all accounts by what he had just shared with me, I asked him what the email had said. He led me up to his room, where an open email was clearly visible on his laptop that read, "I love you. Please get help. You and your life matter to me, Dad." The craziest thing that still boggles my mind to this day is that I deleted my husband's personal email account 4 weeks after he had passed. And sign number 10 is strange behaviors of pets. Pets are very sensitive to other world energies. They're able to see and feel things outside of the range of normal human perception. When a spirit is near, your pet may stare, growl, or meow at something you can't see, and or may absolutely refuse to enter certain rooms in the house. So, what do you think? Is your house haunted? Take a look at the signs. How did you do? Did you find one or more signs that perhaps your house may be experiencing a haunting? Before you freak out and pack up and leave, first make sure to do your due diligence to explore and to try to debunk the activity. You know, the truth is, most so-called hauntings can be explained and resolved with a bit of logic. Are there drafts in the room? Is there evidence of a rodent or other small animal taking up non-paying residency in your home? Are the hinges on your doors or cupboards loose? Are the noises you're hearing just a common occurrence due to the house settling on its foundation? If you can't debunk one or more of these signs, and if the activity continues but doesn't seem harmful, you might consider either conducting an energy cleansing of your house or perhaps a home blessing by a qualified professional. On the other hand, if the activity persists or worsens and you and your family feel threatened, it's time to call someone skilled in spirit elimination, such as a priest, psychic medium, or other skilled professional. Finally, it's important to not give your power away by giving in to fear. Many times the spirit entities just want to get your attention to let you know that they're there. And if they're doing activity you don't approve of, tell them to stop. This can be as simple as saying with conviction, "This is my house and I want you to stop now." You know, in closing, remember you're never alone and you can call out to your spiritual helpers such as infinite love, God, your angels, your spirit guides to come assist you whenever you're feeling frightened or when you need a boost of courage. So there you go, 10 signs that your house just might be haunted and what to do if you find that it is. Are you experiencing any paranormal activity in your home based on the 10 signs I just shared with you? Let me know by commenting below. I'd love to hear about people's stories and experiences. And finally, if you enjoyed this vlogcast, I invite you to like and subscribe, and I'll make sure to share with you more exciting content so that you can explore and discover all things psychic and paranormal. This is Dar Payment wishing you blessings, love, and light.